So when I met you, I really thought for the first time ever, wow, I didn't know black girls could be pretty like that. I didn't know that black girls could be that pretty. So really, I was astounded. It took me back, and
that's sweet.
That cotton ball hit her with the "you was pretty for a black girl," and she said she over the cheesing and shucking, and said that's sweet.
You know what's foundational, black Americans, man? You know, we're working hard to claim our identity and take it back from the enemy. Take it back from the enemy that claimed us, named us, right? Took away our culture. Then you have people that look like us, but that's not part of our group, come over and say that we don't have a culture. They use all kinds of W supremacist talking points against us. And we've been calling this stuff out lately. We've been holding them accountable. And it's been rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. A lot of people are very upset. The way we deal with W supremacy is totally different than the way they do in the Caribbean and the way that they do in Africa. So how can we align politically and ethically with other groups who don't view W supremacy the way that we do? Now, there's a lot of people calling it, that's starting to speak out on the way the W man is looked at when he goes to Africa or the Caribbean, especially when it comes to a lot of women, right? Where they just throw themselves, and how it happens here in the country too amongst our group as well, but not as prevalent as it does in Africa and these other places, right? Check this out.
Oh, I hate to say this. I have realized African girls that are mostly into white men, they would make it difficult for a black guy that want to play tough and have standards when it comes to a black man. When it comes to a white man, they will literally be open to a one-night stand in hopes that they will bag a white. Oh my God!
I don't see them. I don't see them.
That's actually a fact.
No values,
That's
no standards. Where?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yes, and African girls, I tell you, I saw these things in Kenya. Hey.
But did you see them actually do that deed?
But you live in Uganda as well.
Yeah. What have you seen in Uganda? She's not saying I saw it in Kenya.
In Kenya, I'm like,
in Uganda, I saw these things even in a club.
Okay,
Tell
us what you saw in Uganda.
A black man will come to the table.
Yeah.
They will want him to buy a drink first, and be cool and buy pizza and everything. The moment a white man comes around, the skirts he will touch anywhere, like they actually don't care. So I realize African girls that like white men, they will make everything easy for a white man. Like the white man can get away with everything because they are so desperate for a white man.
Yeah.
So
this Esther went to a whorish place. I'm sorry,
but it's reality. It happens.
Fact.
It happens.
Those are facts.
Even if you find girls on a website, on a dating sites, if it's a black man they're talking to, they are most likely not to send their nude picture to a black guy. They are most likely going to send a nude to a white man. Is that lies?
It's true.
Fine girl, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, you are. What's your name?
Diamond.
I wanted to ask you, do you like white men or black men?
White men. They are just my spec. And because I want to have mixed race babies.
Y'all have some nice skin color babies.
Black men are nice, yes. They are fine, nice. But I told you it's because of mixed race babies.
So where are you from?
I'm from the Ashanti region.
You're from
I'm
here?
From here.
Ghana.
The Ashanti region.
Yeah, the Ashanti region. The first Ashanti I met in a while.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, today?
Yeah, I'm Yasanswa.
Okay, that's nice. If you was to leave Ghana, where would you go?
UK.
UK.
It's been my dream since.
Ah,
Yeah.
you're going to definitely find your white man there. No, we're not letting her go to the UK. She's staying here. She's staying here in Ghana with me, yo.
Now, how can you align yourself with a mindset that think like that, knowing as black Americans what we've been through here and our resiliency and our fight? We ain't fleeing. The 90% of us ain't trying to run over there to be with them. We know who they are. We know who they've been and what they've done in countries that went all around the world. This is not hate. This is historical. This is historical truths, right? So we teach this. We talk about it all the time, right? So how can you align with a mindset that thinks that way? Now, the woman in the first video was telling the truth. Now, you see the other girl trying to deny, oh, that's not what happened. She was like, basically, girl, shut up. It's time to tell the truth and shame the devil. Listen, this is what's happening. Right? So she's telling them the way they just one night stand, they just throw their bodies at them. They ain't even got to show that they got no money. All they got to do is show that they're white. That's it. That's it. So this is not me doing hate speech. This is me showing the people, telling you this, right? But then there's a woman that's talking about the horror stories about what happens when you just throw yourself at these men and they haven't earned anything.
My beautiful sisters from East Africa, especially from Kenya and Burundi, this video is for you. I'm on my knees. I'm a social worker. My name is Becky. I live in Sweden. I work a lot with families from Africa. Please, I'm on my knees begging. Most of these European men you are getting married to, they are not normal. They have some mental issue. The way nobody will stand there for you. The abuse they have to tell us every day. It's horrible. You don't need to go through that. That is not a way to escape poverty. That's not the way. That is not a gateway to enrich yourself. Stop it. Do you mozungu, or you call it what? You're getting married to European men with underlying issues that are beating you. They're destroying your body. They're doing all kinds of horrible things to you that they cannot do it to their white women. No journalist will stand there for you. No law enforcement officer will give you justice. No court will give you justice. No social worker will take sides with you. Instead, they will take advantage of you. They are removing your children. The so-called partner is beating you. They're doing all kinds of things with your body. We need to stop. I mean, we cannot go so low. We need to stop this thing. I mean, the complaints are so enormous. So many complaints. I feel sad what my African sisters are going through in the hands of European men. Kenyan sisters, please, if there's an NGO, try to talk to them. Talk to the young girls in Kenya. Talk to the women in Kenya, in Burundi, that they should be careful. They should be careful getting married to these European men. They call whether it's Muzungu or what. Most often, 80% of the time, it doesn't end up well. And if you see the way they treat our women, oh Lord, you will not believe. It's horrible. It's horrible. The complaints are so many. There are so many. They don't love us. Please, I'm on my knees. There's little we can do. There's little we can do. I cannot count how many of them are in women's shelter, beaten by these men. I cannot count how many of these our mixed children that have been taken, abused, violated, used for all kinds of purposes. They don't even value the children you're having with them. So please, you need to be very careful. You need to be very careful.
So that's the woman explaining how dangerous it could be for a lot of the African women dating these W's, right? How they come over, they see you as savages or animals. A lot of them are failures in their own country, but they know when they can come to Africa or the Caribbean, they get pushed up to the front of the line, right? You know, they're number one. They don't even have to have money. All they got to do is just be a W. And they come there. And this is not me. She's saying this. So don't say, oh, I'm spreading hate or I'm spreading division. No, I'm showing what the people are saying or reporting and what's actually happening, right? But it's not just the women. It's the men too, and it's the parents. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, hey, when we was young, y'all called us African booty scratchers. Fair enough, we called you African booty scratchers. We were children, right? But you know what we didn't do? You know what we wasn't groomed to do? Our parents never told us to look down on you or see you as less than or don't date you or don't do this. Grown-ups with fully developed brains, our parents never used W supremacist talking points against you. Yes, as children we did things, but your parents told you to stay away from us. Your parents talk just like that W man. Now you have black African men even expressing this.
You being a man from an African family, what would your family say about you bringing like an American woman?
My daughter's mom is American. Most African parents, if we're being honest, they would actually prefer you bring home a white person. It's messed up because like we talk about Uncle Tom's and racism and what it did to African Americans, but colonialism did a number on Africans. So a lot of Africans, they default to thinking white people are
superior.
So it goes from white people to Asian, Hispanic, and then black. America's #1 export is entertainment. A lot of Africans know our culture as far as our food and our clothes and things like that, but we don't necessarily know the context. So we don't consider y'all's context. So we don't think about Jim Crow, or we don't think about, post-traumatic slavery. We don't think about that stuff. So we just look at it kind of like how Asian people look at it. Why are those niggas acting the way that they do? Even though we have a kind of similar story, we don't make that same connection that, oh, this happened to them, then this happened to them, and this happened to them, and it's still happening. So that's why we have that same kind of mindset.
Ça va t'avancer. Parce que toi, bouleni, Karobasa, a dit Manika, Nasra Wadika Bisraouli, a dit Manika, combien tu peux contribuer pour la maison? Il faut, elle est d'accord. Domonou Fana, même chose. le reste de ton argent n'a qu'à se contacter pour investir dans une entreprise et autres, à Dafinina. Ni qui sont le reste de l'argent que tu accumules, il c'est action sur l'entreprise.
Donc, il y a fait des tout à vous marier.
5 ans, 10 ans, tu deviens, plus il a dit plus action sur là. Il c'est action sur l'entreprise. Tu vas évoluer vite. Mais il faut la finir. Et bien, africain, non seulement le temps c'est un mariage qui ne verra pas le lendemain. Parce que, on a les kata commandés là.
I hear African men treat white women better than their own. Yeah, he cooks for her. When it's an African woman, he expects her to cook for him. Look at him doing the dishes. If it was an African woman, he would say that's a woman's job. He follows her around like a puppy. But with an African woman, he always says, "Why do you always ask where I'm going?" She complains once and he listens. With an African woman, "Why are you always nagging?" See how gentle he is with her. If it was an African woman, he would say, "Have you forgotten I'm the man of the house?" Look at him smiling and nodding. If it was one of us, he would be rolling his eyes. Is it true or some are just being bitter?
So Africans already know the deal because they come over here already being explained by their parents. They run into the W's. They live in different neighborhoods. When we go to Africa to be around them and to be around the culture and to experience Africa. When they come here to separate from us, right? They come here with a tribalistic way of thinking. But then we get called the bad guy. You got the Democrats fighting tooth and nail to bring them over here, where they're not coming over here to ingratiate themselves with us and be a part of us. They're coming here to make money. They don't give a damn about our situation of our plight, right? But then we're looked at as the bad guy when we call this out. Now, you do have some Africans that are not tethers, that are 10 toes down, that come here and they start to understand the Black Americans' experience, right? And they look at it from, a lot of times when you hear them talk about, well, why you couldn't build in your country, they say it's because of the government. It's what the government did. Why can't you do, why you this, that, and the third? So we don't get the benefit of the doubt of the government and what the government did to us here. We don't get the benefit of the doubt that everything that we got, we had to fight for, right? And we never stopped fighting. We had to fight for the right to vote, right? We had to fight for the right to have a good wage and jobs, insurance policies, right? We had to fight for the right to just live. Because even though you have federal laws that was on the books there to protect you, state laws didn't honor it, right? We had to fight just to exist. We had to fight the right to protect our image, right? Everything that we ever got in this country was a fight. And other groups that come here that look like us and don't even look like us is able to benefit from the group that was here first, us, that was fighting to get those things done. And they don't appreciate nor respect it. They ran from their country. We four here, we were the only group of people that was asked after slavery or after you was under the foot of somebody, we was asked to go back to be under the foot of those people and prove that we were human. That's happened nowhere else in the history of the world. Nowhere else in the history of the world. You were enslaved by these people for over 200 and something years, and when you were free, you had to go back to those people to prove that you were human. And that's when you went through all the things that you went through. So now you have Africans that come here and they get educated by what we've been through, and they talk like this.
I feel like a lot of Africans don't understand the African American experience. I never knew until I came here and started learning the history of what happened here. Like all the way from the end of slavery, Jim Crow laws, redlining, the civil rights movement, the pipeline from the school to prison pipeline.
The prison industrial complex.
Yeah, all of this stuff. I don't think Africans have an idea of all these things that are put against African Americans to become successful. Like even the Africans that are brought here, we're brought and we're put into nicer neighborhoods. They don't put us in Southside Chicago in the worst neighborhoods where you literally have to get a gun to survive, where you have to you're fighting for your life. They put us in nice neighborhoods. And then
talk about the churches, how they will indoctrinate you.
How white people are nicer to Africans than African Americans.
That's not a good niceness.
Yo, there's
they're not threatened by us.
Oh, that's such a great point because the charity that is given to Africans through these, religious organizations and just philanthropy, it's we got to help these people in Africa. And that's a whole other conversation in itself.
That white savior complex.
But we receive a sympathetic lens on us.
So acknowledge the fact that that happens over here in the United States, but then you have the mirror on the other side. If you're African American and you go to these other countries, especially these Muslim countries, these European countries, if you have that American visa, it's different.
Yeah.
Compared to if you're just Sudanese going to this place.
You're just African.
You're not having the same experience.
The visa, the American visa hits differently.
How interesting.
That nuance.
I'm from Sierra Leone. I came to America as an immigrant, and I need to tell you something most Africans won't admit. We arrive in this country looking down on African Americans. And we have no right to, no history, no context, no right. When I went back to Sierra Leone in my early teens, we were reading Jane Austen, Charles Dickens, Shakespeare in school. You know who we never read? W.E.B. Du Bois, James Baldwin, Toni Morrison. Not one, not ever, not once. That is not an accident. That's colonial education designed to disconnect us from our history, from our struggle, from each other. Before Africans come to America, we know nothing about African Americans except music videos and movies. We see the poverty, we see the violence, we see the performance, but we do not see the policy. We don't see the history. We don't see the 400 years of theft. We don't know that every single right we have as African immigrants, every protection, every opportunity, every door that opens exists because African Americans bled for it. The Civil Rights Act, the voting rights, fair housing, that wasn't given, that was taken. They faced police dogs, fire hoses, bombs in churches. They were lynched for organizing, assassinated for speaking. And we benefit from it the second we step off the plane. But we don't learn that. We're never taught that. We arrive ignorant and call it pride. So we come to America carrying white supremacist thought, and we don't even know it. We look at African Americans and think, why can't they just work hard like us? Why are they so angry? Why don't they pull themselves up? We repeat that. We believe it. We become it. We judge without remembering they're descendants of people, of us, who were enslaved for 400 years and denied everything after emancipation. We don't know about redlining. We don't know about sharecropping, convict leasing, the destruction of Black Wall Street. We don't know about COINTELPRO. We don't know the government-orchestrated crack epidemic. We don't know wealth compounds, and African Americans were systematically prevented from building any. We judge them for the effects. We ignore the cause. We repeat the lie. White supremacy is brilliant. It separated us before we ever met. It taught Africans we're better, more dignified, more hardworking, more pure. It taught us to see African Americans as lazy, criminal, inferior. Meanwhile, it taught African Americans that Africans sold them, which is true but incomplete because it erases European demands, European ships, European guns, European economic system that created the trade. The system wins when we're divided, when we say, I'm not like them. We're doing white supremacy's work, people, for free, with pride, with ignorance, wrapped in respectability. African Americans built this country with their hands, with their blood, with their bodies turned into capital. Then they were freed into a system designed to re-enslave them. Then they organized, then they fought, then they died, and then they won the rights the whole world benefits from. Anti-colonial movements in Africa were inspired by the Black Power movement. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X influenced liberation struggles globally. African Americans gave us language, strategy, and vision to fight oppression everywhere. And we repay them with judgment. We repay them with distance. We repay them by repeating white supremacist talking points. We have to address this ignorance. We have to stop it. We have to end it. We're not better. We're not smarter. We're not more deserving. We're just luckier to avoid the specific machinery of American anti-blackness. But make no mistake, to white supremacy, we're all the same. We just some niggas. The moment we stop being useful, we're just another target.
So this foundational Black American Delineation movement is forcing people to wake up, and it's forcing people to recognize what's being told them the whole time, right? A lot of them get it. A lot of them, I'm gonna say this. A lot of them already know what we've been saying, right? They're not stupid. There's a lot of very well-educated Black people, a lot of well-educated Africans in Africa. They know what the British has done to them. They know what the French has done to them. I've been on panels with Africans. They tell me this. I've showed you guys. They know what the British have done. They know what the French has done, right? They know all this. They know what those pale face have done to their people, but they look at them as the winning side, the winning ethnic group. So they're willing to do anything they can do to get out of their current situations, right, and run over there to them. They want a mixed race baby. They want to, they encourage their children to marry a W so they can have a better situation because they conditioned them through colonialism to look down on themselves. You're not worthy. You're not capable enough. As long as you got that blood in you and you over there with them, you can be successful. You can't do nothing around your own people. So they come over here with that mentality and they start using that W supremacist thinking like the guy from Sierra Leone just said against us, right? There has never ever been riots in the streets or marches in the streets where foundational black Americans were fighting to get Africans and Caribbeans kicked out the country. No, when you guys came here because we operate in blackness, when you showed you was 10 toes down, we called you our brother or our sister. We fought for you. Everything. Y'all came here with a tribalistic way of thinking and separated yourself from us, and you used those talking points even when you knew what the colonizer did to your own country. You never took the time to find out what those same colonizers did here and what we had to fight for and how we stayed and how we were the minority surrounded around the majority and we still survived. Y'all didn't take the time to do that. Y'all didn't show it the level of respect to do that. And this ain't me saying that, this is the Africans exposing it, because there are Africans that see this foundational black American, us delineating, and they're saying about time. About time. And a lot of them do respect and revere us, and they're speaking up, and they're speaking out against their own people. Because again, what I said, yeah, we called you African booty scratcher the same way we called ourselves that. But our parents never ever told us that you was less than, you was lazy, you was bums, and stay away from you. Your parents told you that. Your parents told you that. And this is why you have foundational black Americans going strong. So y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.